When I find the right one. Ready to roll, Chief? Whatever you want. Okay. I guess I'll wait for Josh to get there. Boy, Norm found a good chair. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you. It's not the best weather day ever, but it's certainly way better than yesterday. So welcome. I'd like to call to order this 85th annual meeting of the Bayview Freeborn Funeral Home. And I would ask you to stand. And where's the flag? Oh, there. And we'll pledge allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'll now call on Chaplain Don to favor us with an invocation.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, and it's good to see this attendance. Very good. Let us bow our heads in prayer. Dearest Lord, you call each and every one of us to serve. Here at Bayview, we have servant leadership, a team that goes above and beyond the call of duty. Indeed, we are blessed. And as we review and reflect upon this past year, remind us all that we are all servant leaders also. Remind us the privilege it is to serve and to care and to love. All of this through Jesus Christ, God's one and only risen Son. And God's people said, Amen.
At this time, I'd like to welcome and introduce our board of directors here. So they've all had their instructions, so they're going to stand and be recognized when they are called upon. And so we'll get started. John Hers, Pat Dillevue. You can sit. Norm Ferdine, he got the easy chair. John Jurgensen. There he is. He's our vice president. Kathleen Muhlenberg is our secretary. There she is. Brian Thompson. Dave Thunstead is our treasurer. Dwayne Troll. And I'm George Wickman. I'm the president. So on behalf of me, would you give my board of directors a big hand? They've done a good job of guiding this ship through calm waters and stormy waters, so I'm glad to have them. I'll now ask our manager, Josh, to come forward and introduce his staff.
I can have the staff step forward, please. Our staff is fantastic. We have not had a lot of changes over the last 2 or 3 years. The only changes truly have come in title only. First, we have Beth Tuberty, who is possibly the fastest rising star at Bayview. She started here as a night attendant. Now she is the assistant manager and chief financial officer. Eli Harvo. Oh, you can check clear for her. This place doesn't go without Beth. In second place with name changes is Eli Harvo. He came to us as a student a few years ago, you may recall. This last February or March, depending on how you look at the state of Minnesota, he is now a fully licensed funeral director and is staying on staff with us. You can cheer for him too, that's huge. Phil Demuling is our other funeral director. He has been licensed for 2 years with us. I've known Phil for 30 years, and we are getting older. New to our staff this year, Lori Sistick. Did I say that right? She watches over our visitations and helps at funerals, and we are thrilled to have her. If you don't see her here, she's at Addie's, and she's retired. Another title change is Al. He used to be Al the hearse driver. Now he's Al, guy who fixes everything in the building. He has stepped back a little bit from funerals, but he is still an invaluable part of our staff. Still here, Connie Tuberty. We were joking yesterday that I will probably retire right around annual meeting number 100. She'll be about 100 and we'll retire together. Another new addition to our staff is Sandy Fredrickson. She works at our funerals with us. She has caught on very rapidly and is also becoming a very valuable member of our team. She does what she needs to do before she's told to do it. And lastly, if you come here on an evening and see somebody running around getting people coffee or water or anything else like that, that's Jenny. Jenny's been with us for 3 years now and makes it so the rest of us can go home at night. Thank you all very much. Your help is deeply appreciated. Thank you.
I'll now call on Beth to give us her report on registration and the quorum.
To begin the 85th annual meeting of Bayview Freeborn Funeral Home this 27th day of April 2024, a quorum of the membership is in attendance with 90 signed-in members and 1,420 registered eligible voters.
I'll now call on Beth again to give us the proof of notice of the annual meeting.
Notice for the 85th annual meeting of the Bayview Freeborn Funeral Home was published in the following: Albert Lea Tribune on Saturday, March 30th, 2024, and each Saturday since. The Freeborn County Shopper on Tuesday, April 19th and 23rd. Star Eagle and Alden Advance weekly publications beginning April 1st. The notice was published on the Bayview Freeborn Funeral Home website and our Facebook pages on April 1st and have been visible and run ever since. The meeting notice was initially announced on K Radio 1450 and KAUS on April 1st along with several ads after.
Thank you, Beth. We have a very capable secretary, but those of you that know Kathleen, you know she's bashful. So she doesn't major in reading her report. So Beth will graciously do that for her.
The annual meeting of the Bayview Freeborn Funeral Home was held Saturday, April 24th, 2023 to celebrate Bayview's 84th year in business. The meeting was called to order at 10:30 by Board President George Wickman. The colors were posted and the Pledge of Allegiance was recited by all. Chaplain Don Malinsky spoke briefly and gave the invocation. President Wickman welcomed everyone and introduced the board of directors. Manager Fossum introduced his staff. Beth Huberty announced that there was a quorum of the 84 signed in attendance. Proof of notice was satisfied with ads on K Radio, Freeborn County Shopper, Albert Lea Tribune, Facebook, and Bayview's website. Beth also read the minutes of the 2022 annual meeting. A motion to accept the minutes was made by Robert Bali and seconded by Dave Frederickson. Motion passed. Manager Fossum gave the financial report. The business is doing well, and there was an increase in sales with $100,082.23 net income from operations. Bayview has placed $100,000 in a CD at 3.25% interest until it is needed for scheduled updates and maintenance. President Wickman announced that John Jorgensen, Brian Thompson, Kathleen Muhlenberg are nominated for 3-year terms. With no other nominations from the floor, a motion to unanimously approve and elect the nominees was made by Bill Searles and seconded by Mary Renshin. Motion passed. Manager Fossum stated that Bayview has served 192 families this past year. 5 other families were served here on their way to out-of-town facilities. Cremations were at a rate of 55.2%. The name of the funeral home will legally be changed to Bayview Freeborn Funeral and Cremation Services. Bayview is in the process of replacing the original furniture, and the upstairs has been redecorated using credit card points to purchase new furnishings. Josh shared information of a new travel assurance policy which covers all expenses for returning a body from home when past at least 75 miles away, worldwide, at a one-time cost of $495. He also spoke of how Bayview continues to give cash donations to many community causes, in addition to the 2 annual scholarships that are awarded. President Wickman thanked Manager Fossum for his report and continued service to Bayview. There was no old or new business. There were boxed lunches and $10 for each attendees to take home. A motion to adjourn was made by Robert Bali and seconded by Deb Benham. Motion passed, and the meeting was adjourned at 11 a.m.
Thank you, Beth. Before I ask for a motion, I'd like to remind you how I like to have this done. So I might know you as a neighbor, but under the circumstance, I might not be able to say your name. So when you make the motion, please say your name along with it. You've heard the Secretary's report. Are there any additions or corrections? No additions or corrections. I would entertain a motion to accept that motion as presented, or that report as mentioned. Dave makes the motion to accept that report. Is there a second? Tom Lang. 2 easy ones from the beginning. Okay, the motion's been made and seconded to accept the Secretary's report as presented. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say no. That motion carries. I guess Beth is on again.
Okay, I promise this is it, and then you will hear from somebody else. But it is very important for me to interject over the year as my employment continues here at Bayview. I'm such a strong supporter of Bayview. Very fortunate to be a part of this cooperative. So good morning and welcome to those here and watching online. The 2024 annual meeting is held today recognizing our 85th year in business. I recall being told as a child from many, you have no idea how fast time will pass once you become adults. All of them were correct. It does not seem possible another year has passed and we once again gather with our members and community supporters for our meeting. While preparing for this day, I did not only reflect on the last year, but in the years as an employee of Bayview. I believe that we in the funeral industry from now on will always reference pre-COVID and post-COVID. It was heartbreaking to go through those that passed in the beginning of the pandemic, being so restricted to the gathering and have the absence of support to the survivors of their loved ones. We realize how truly important it is to celebrate one's life and rely on the steadfast support of family and friends. COVID showed us the importance of utilizing live streaming of services, creating videos that could be shared with the public on our website, depicting one's life in photos and music. This has brought together in modern times the ability for people to gather in an alternative way. COVID taught our directors and our staff to adapt, create, and transition in a way never expected that has continued post-pandemic to personalize the true celebration of a loved one's life. So what we should take from this is even in the worst of times, the unplanned and the unexpected, good things can come of it. 2023 had many behind-the-scenes accomplishments. I am going to touch on a few that were noteworthy to me. We were able to complete the upgrade of the new furnace and air conditioners that started in 2022. All units have now been replaced. We have received and accepted bids to the parking lot to be totally resurfaced and new landscaping around the building to be redone. Both projects are much needed given the age of the original installation. We look forward to both of these projects being done early summer. Last fall, we ordered and installed a new sign reflecting the amended business name to Bayview Freeborn Funeral and Cremation Services. We edited the logo to join the bridge and retrofitted the lighting to LED. Many compliments have been received on the visibility of the new sign. In a joint decision with the board of directors, Manager Fossum and myself, we chose to retain the accounting services of Hill, Benda, Scove, and Bernal. Lance Scove is our CPA and works closely with myself as CFO in the financial management of our establishment. Much of the financial responsibilities are now being completed in-house, but it is extremely important to Bayview's business to have an outside party overseeing the financial records. We are most pleased with the decision. I would like to take the time today to also thank the board of directors for their dedication, guidance, and advice, including the annual meeting. These 9 people meet 5 times throughout the year and are always a phone call or an email away should items need to be addressed in between scheduled meetings. Bayview is most fortunate to have you as a board. In closing, I would like to say thank you to all of our members. It is your support and trust in the services that Bayview provides that has kept our member-owned cooperative successful for 85 years. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Beth. I'll now call on Josh for his manager's report.
They're all going to be the same. No worries. Beth took most of my speech. So brevity today is the key. As far as the financials, I'm just going to read them today. Because we are on YouTube and the internet, we did not feel it was a very good idea to have all of our numbers posted on a screen and spread out through all of space. For the year 2023, our current assets are $938,199.34. Our property and equipment is $227,000 and $227,003.85, and other assets are $50,152 and 18 cents. I haven't read numbers this big since like 4th grade out loud. So our total assets are $1,215,355.37, which will be equal to our total liabilities. Our current liabilities are $74,309.44. We have $37,609.76 in trust accounts, and member equity is $1,103,436.17. As for income, excuse me, our sales were $1,340,377.39. That's pretty good. Our cost of those sales was $347,081.57, which leaves us a gross profit of $993,295.82. After all of our operating expenses of $923,065.64, our income from operation was $70,230.18. Our other income and expenses was positive $5,909.60, and our tax expense, because we made money, we have to pay taxes. I think I said this a couple of years ago as well. Our taxes this year were $29,336 for a net income of $51,419.28.
You've heard Josh's financial report. Are there any additions, corrections, questions? There being none, I would entertain a motion to accept that financial report as presented.
I'll make the motion.
Deb Venom makes the motion. Is there a second? Dave Frederickson. Dave Frederickson. All those in favor of that motion, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say no. That motion has carried. Now we ask Josh to come back to the podium and now give his manager's report.
Like I said, brevity today. I don't want to turn lunch into dinner. Thank you all very much for being here today. It is great we have more people than we did last year, and it is great to see you. I started 5 years ago on April 1st, April Fool's Day. Even Todd thought that was funny. It has been great. 5 years ago, I looked out into the crowd. I knew no one. Now I pretty much know all of you, and that makes me feel great. It's serving our neighbors. It's what Bayview is supposed to be. And it's great that you're all here so that I can see all of your faces, because I appreciate every one of you. Thank you all very much. There is one other project Beth didn't mention. As you drove in, you may have seen the giant light pole on the corner has literally blown over. The salt in the water has gotten into the footings, rusted out the bolt, and one wonderful windy day about a week and a half ago, it fell, luckily in the middle of the night. So we do have, hopefully soon, some estimates coming for new light poles, which will hopefully light our driveway or parking lot even better, because it is not the best lit in the wintertime. So we're hoping to do that as well. The other projects, as Beth mentioned, are very exciting. Our whole side of our building is going to be redone like nothing. They've told us that is in the area with river rock and new plants. The railing will still be there, as that was donated, and it was very important to us that the railing stays, and it's for everyone's safety. That's all I have, except for thank you all. We have been, just as last year, we have given with the $1,000 scholarships, $14,903.93 to various local groups. And I have a list of them, and I'm going to read them quickly if I can find my list. Our donations are included. I hope I got most all of them. Albert Lea Chamber of Commerce, all post-prom and post-graduation events at all the high schools in the county. The Albert Lea Family Y, the all-inclusive playground, which is going to go right across the lake. St. John's Eagle Cam, the Eagles will be back, Norm. The Humane Society, we allow St. Croix and Mayo Hospice both to use our facilities for their annual services of remembrance. Manchester Sunflower Fields, we donate all the seeds. The American Legion and Honor Guard, Alden Lions Club, all of the Kiwanis clubs in town, Freeborn County Fair and Livestock Auction, the Alzheimer's Association, Eagle Cancer Telethon, Alden Community Foundation, Big Island Rendezvous, Friends of the Brick Hall, True Friends, Navy Hospital Auxiliary, Eddie Cochran Days, Albert Lea Hockey Association, Pheasants Forever, Morin Lake Days, and Glenville Days. It's a lot of things, and we will continue to do that. I have one more thing to address, and I guess it's going to affect some of the financials in the future. Last year, our cremation rate was 55.2%, or the year before last was 55.2%. Last year, 2023, we had 190 families served, 7 others that we did work for other funeral homes for a total of 197. 122 of those were cremation. That makes the cremation rate 64.2%. We are, one of the challenges that we have in the future, and every funeral director who's done this more than 10 years saw this coming, we have to adjust and adapt to create the services that are meaningful and dignified to families so that they see the need and the value so that we can charge for it, for lack of a better term. Cremation's on the rise. Next year, I anticipate a higher number of calls. Right now, we are at 66, which means if you extrapolate it out, we'd probably have about 208 calls. And the financial numbers, though they will not grow as though the cremation rate was 20%. That's a fact of life. And so we have to come up with new ways to serve our families, and I look forward to that challenge because this is going to continue. It's not bad, it's just different. Kind of been everywhere, like I said. Thanks, Beth. The last thing I have is serving you is definitely our honor. I love it. I love coming to work every day. And I thank you all for that opportunity. This last November, I lost my stepdaughter, my wife and I. And it's one thing when you all come up and say what a good job we did. It means the world to me. It's another thing when your family themselves do it. And therefore, I believe that we are doing a fantastic job here. There's no greater critics than my parents or Chastity's parents. It's great that our staff, and they made me stop being a funeral director that day, and it was awful. Our staff took such great care of even our own, and I have to thank them for that. And last person I need to thank, or else I'll get in trouble. Chas, would you step out here, please? I have gone from forgetting to mention her to mentioning her maiden name. Her name is Chastity Fossum. She is my wife, and I can't do this without her. Thank you. I will not make my children stand. You are welcome. After the election and everything we need to do, you are all invited into the banquet hall, and after 4 years, we get to have a sit-down lunch again. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh and Beth, for all your reports. I'd like to take this opportunity once again to thank all of those people from the top on down. We couldn't run this place without them. So if you'd give them one more round of applause, I'd appreciate it. At this point, we need to elect directors. And since my name is on the ballot, I'm going to ask John Jurgensen, our vice president, to come up and do this part of the meeting.
Well, thank you, George. And it is a pleasure to be here as your vice president, and I welcome you all. And this is just a wonderful day, and thank God the Lord has seen fit to give us good weather today. We're going to have our election of our directors. We have three: George Wickman, Dwayne Troll, and John Hertz, going for 3 more terms, 3-year terms. Are there any nominations from the floor? I've got to ask 3 times. Are there any nominations from the floor? Are there any nominations from the floor? If not, I will ask for a motion to approve the 3 people that I just mentioned.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Okay, and do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. With that, I have concluded my time. Thank you.
I want to thank you for your vote of confidence, and I think it's really because nobody else wants to do this job. So, but anyway, thank you. At this point, I need to ask, is there any old business that we brought up last year, tended to last year, that you feel needs to be discussed again? You've heard the minutes. Anything at all? There being none, then is there any new business that, any compliments, any complaints, any attaboy, attagirl, any of that? We've kind of been doing that, so you can go slow on that. So anything along the lines of new business? Well, if there is none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. You want to keep this going all day, maybe? Tom Lang makes the motion. Is there a second to that motion? I've got somebody, but he didn't speak up fast enough. Delmer Boykin. A motion's been made and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you for being here.
I thought. Thank you for remembering.